welcome back to Spooky Scary Game Time. Or Scary Game Time. We are continuing to play the letter. Apparently, I was very close to completing Hannah's chapter. I will tell you guys that I ordered food. So, if my phone rings, that's my food. So, I would have to put the stream on break, and I don't know when they're coming. So, could be this second, could be a couple minutes from now, could be an hour. My day was
Or it could be a day.
Not a day, please. Anyway, my day was great. I hope yours was too. Let's freaking continue. This is Dane.
Hi.
So.
Hi.
You can explain yourself, Dane.
I'm a current friend of Mocha the Wizard over here, and just some random guy she met online. Really, nothing interesting about me.
Yeah. We play Dungeons and Dragons together. We're just friends. So, because Jill can't join us today, I'm having Dane join me because I refuse to play this game alone.
Scaredy cat.
No. It's just more entertaining with another person with me.
True.
Yeah. Did someone follow me? If so, thanks. Anyway. So. Now it's time to read. Yeah. My darling prince is a man of many connections, a man of the people. He is always talking to one person or another, and I am always left alone, unable to stay by his side at all times. It is frustrating, but I do have to be understanding. Besides, I don't see why I can't just stay home. The least I can do is make sure I have his time while he's here, which, in of itself, isn't as easy as it sounds. Not with that bloody valet of his tailing him around.
Johans! Where's my tie?
Oh god, I got scared for a moment.
He sounds annoying.
Yeah. So this is our husband. That's Johans. Which is the butler. So, he was accused of fathering another woman's baby at a party last night, and we chose not to believe it. I say bullshit. Anyway.
I can't find it anywhere.
Have you looked around your neck? It should be there if it's not on your clothes horse, sir.
It isn't often I'm awake this early, at least early enough to find my darling preparing for the day with his valet attending to him. It is an old-fashioned way to go about the morning. He's able to dress himself after all. But he says that it really makes the day easier for him to have someone else do this tedious work, albeit with a grimace. Though, if that manservant of his dislikes the duty so much, I'll gladly do it.
I've got it, my prince. Come here.
Well, someone's up and at them especially early this morning, huh? Here I thought you'd be knackered by all the dancing we did last night at the party, and after that... Well...
He sounds very smug.
We had sex, is what he's saying. Hannah.
Again, he's very smug.
Yeah. You aren't exactly updated to what's happened so far. So, this is Hannah. She's trying to rekindle the marriage between her and Luke. So, a saucy little wink and a smile is what he offers me as I draw close to fix his tie. And when the valet reaches out with perfume, I quickly take it and shoo him aside. This close, his scent fills me with the smell of white flowers, cocoa, cardamom, and almonds. Apparently, it's intoxicating. And the sight of the two of us in the vanity mirror is picturesque and perfect. Can I help it if I feel a bit resentful that another person gets to do this for Luke every morning when I could have done it myself? No, I
You're
can't.
dismissed, Shroken. I have this. Go on then. You'll be summoned if you're needed.
There's a curious look furrowed brows before any sign that he cares is wiped from his expression.
Very well. If you need me, I'll be somewhere that isn't here.
You could have let the man do his job.
And I say there's no need for him. I can take care of you just fine, my prince.
Apparently, you have a random ghost in your Sim's apartment. Better get that dealt with.
Just where are you off to this morning anyway?
Wait, what's this about a ghost now?
So, Tyler's saying in his Sims game that he has a ghost in the apartment. I hate the thought of him leaving me. It feels like an eternity without him. In this lonely place that doesn't feel like quite home yet. Although the mansion is really growing on me, slowly but surely. I want to be by his side, yet he fails to see such an obvious thing.
Business. Where else?
Why can't you just work from home? You can afford to, can't you?
Business needs a firm hand and a personal touch, Buttercup. Besides, I can't stay cooped up forever in here. I'll go mad.
Well, you'll come back
And
home
if
as
someone goes
soon as
mad, it
possible, won't
always
you?
leads to murder.
Oh yeah, he's also an alcoholic.
It's so awfully lonely here without you, my prince.
I could.
That's depressing.
I don't see why I should, though. This hasn't been a problem before. You know I'll come home when I come home.
Just get home as soon as you can. For me, won't you?
No promises. It's business after all. I can't just stand up in the middle of the meeting and tell them the wife wants me home.
Then forget those peasants.
He stops and stares, looking perturbed for a moment before shaking his head. Is he feeling ill? That's more reason for him to stay with me, doesn't it? I'm just being a good wife, worrying about my
Be
husband
good,
and
dear.
all.
And stay safe. There's been all sorts of dodgy characters seen about the property. I'll be leaving Johans with you, just in case you need anything, and to be on the safe side, okay?
But I don't need a valet. I need you here with me.
I'll be closing a big deal with a pharmaceutical company soon.
Hannah,
if
Hannah,
things
sweetheart,
go according
you're being
to plan.
clingy. Let the man do a job.
This is actually the first time she's been like this. It's probably because of the ghost lady that keeps appearing around her.
Maybe after that,
Fair enough.
I can take a breather for a bit.
And the fact that her husband was just accused of fathering her best friend's child.
No,
That is also
maybes.
true.
You have to promise me.
I only need him.
I'm going to be late, Hannah. The longer this takes, the later I'll get home.
Fine. Shall I see you out?
If that's what you want.
Good freaking darn it. Phew. Ah! That's it.
Up. Break time. Pizza food.
Okay, I'm coming to go get it. Thank you. I'll be back.
Have fun. Ooh, look at cappuccino. Actually sounds pretty nice right now. Welcome back.
Yeah. Okay. So, at the foot of his door, his valet waits ready to accompany him for the rest of the day when he's told to stay and attend to me. Gonna eat these fries.
Pretty sure he sounds very disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, for all we know, he's actually gay. I still don't like it. He doesn't look it either. But I ignore him in favor of the one who really matters. I hold Luke's hand in mine and I give him a deep kiss. Well, actually, the valet is gay, if I remember. But he has a husband. It makes my heart flutter as I see the way he closed his eyes during our moment of passion. Parting for air, I can only smile as I eat these loaded fries.
Greasy, greasy loaded fries.
Have a good day, my prince.
Right. Off I go.
I don't think he likes the taste of those loaded fries.
Suck it. I still don't want him to leave. He should just stay. Forever.
If you could let go of my hand, please, Hannah.
You're crushing it, Hana.
It's just so hard to let go when I finally have him in my grasp. I don't think this is Hana anymore. To watch him enter his car and leave pains me. It leaves behind an aching, gaping hole like a hunger and a need.
Yeah, this is definitely no longer Hana. At least as far as I could tell.
I shall not be content until he returns.
If it fits you, breakfast is ready in the
Tyler's,
parlor, madam.
Tyler with him having barbecue chicken, baked beans, and biscuits for dinner.
You lucky son of a bitch.
I know, right? Barbecue chicken.
Yup. If anything, I'll be in a foul mood until he returns.
Leave and go practice your bloody sodomy elsewhere.
What a bitch!
But she's never like that.
Peculiar.
She's acting weird. When I turn around
Indeed she
to
is.
hiss at him to leave, he's already gone, and that suits me just fine. I just want to be alone without anyone bother me. I want to be alone with myself and my thoughts, and only these halls as company. These damn halls which will hold our memories, just he and I. There's no one else I need but my prince. Not some cheeky servant who's living it up because he's Luke's right-hand man. Robbers like him deserve nothing. He deserves to be thrown in and locked in the attic.
The attic. Okay,
Last
so
time
Hana's complete.
without realizing it, my feet have brought me in here. Shit. This empty, lifeless room disgusts me. The longer I stare at it, the harder it gets to breathe, as if the walls are moving in on me. Yet at the same time, it pulls me in. I hear a whispering, and a curiosity gets the better of me as I look under the bed.
Boo!
There! On the far corner, a loose floorboard. The wood, despite having swelled and warped over the years, is strangely familiar. Comforting in its feel.
What kind of Mexican food did your cousin made?
Though it's not merely what my hand searches for as I reach for it. It takes quite an effort, but soon I'm able to lift it.
Hero of heart. 2 kids gonna die tonight.
Hey,
Hi,
Jill.
Jill.
And inside, underneath the dust and cobwebs, lies a pendant warm and familiar. And I swear, if I close my eyes, I can feel it beating in my palm. I feel a thrill, though I feel like a thief for taking this. But it's mine. So without delay, I hid in our room. In front of the vanity, I see the ways my eyes shine as I remove the clasp of my old necklace and put on this new one. Ah! It fits a lot better than the old one.
Spooky.
I can feel it as it weighs on my chest.
Right where it belongs.
Ah!
Hey, creepy face.
Hey, it's Zachary!
Oh, it's Zachary now.
The pleasant aroma hits me long before I cross the threshold. Faint, but light and warm, a reminder of what home is. Pa's stern but commanding gaze, Ma's tender smiles, and the sunlight filtering through the eaves in the morning. And the distinct smell of cinnamon and vanilla as it drifts through the air every time something cooks from the room. Oh, that doesn't look good indeed. The room. Our room. Mom and Pa's pride and joy. My sister and I too, eventually. But we ain't allowed there. Not yet. Not until we're taller or older. Not until we learn
Or
how
fatter.
to take care of ourselves. You leave Zachary alone! And not burn our hands.
I can't help it.
Or reach up the cupboards without having been
But a little
lifted.
peek wouldn't hurt, yeah?
Floorboards are
Oh,
cold
he-
under my feet.
He pretty thick.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you make fun of my big boy.
Tyler, I don't remember what the shell was, but it was not a tortilla. But it had refried beans and everything that should be on a taco and Spanish rice. It sounds pretty delicious, whatever it is.
The floorboards. Whoop. Floorboards are cold under my feet more than it usually is. The wall is more forbidding than what I'm used to. Farther and farther the room goes. My singing ceases.
No,
and
please
Mom-
wait. I'll be good. I'll sleep on time. Don't go.
I can't hear Pop. Not above the clanging and deafening roar of gunshots, nor the screams replacing the comforting, soft melodies. Well, shit. It was only blinding feet.
These people are dying already.
My foot slips the red sea that catches me is bitter and frigid, but the blood that drips on my hand is warm. It ain't my blood. The walls tumble and everything goes quiet. Life fucking sucks. It takes a few moments.
When doesn't it?
This is a very nice apartment.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous. I would actually like to have that.
It takes a few moments for everything to fall into place, for my eyes to adjust to the relative darkness of the room. Despite the pleasant chill the AC brings, my shirt is clinging tightly to me, and my blanket is a tangled mess around my throat. Shoot. Winter's not
Indeed,
even arrived,
Jill.
and yet-
Zach did have a bad
Way too
childhood.
early for this thing, man.
Too long. Too long since I've last woken up, drenched in my own sweat, head littered with thoughts that are gone as soon as my eyes open. All too often, only imprints and brief images are left to haunt me for the rest of the day, or until my mind forgets about it. Egad, whichever comes first. Well, time to figure this out. It's Zachary! Steele, March 20th, Pisces,
Zax.
31 years old. Oh, our birthdays are really close, actually.
I wonder if that's a symbolism for something.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because I like him. And he likes me, maybe. He doesn't know me. Okay. March 20th, Pisces, 31 years old. 6 foot. Occupation, freelance photographer. Nationality, American. Religion, agnostic. Education, diploma in digital film. Likes pie, photography and filmography, documentaries, cooking, acoustic guitar, video games. Before his
Sounds like
parents'
my kind of
death,
guy.
He lived in New Jersey, where his family owned a diner and bakery. He and his sister were orphaned due to a hate crime. They were forced to move to England, where their grandparents lived. He had loved cooking and helping out with their old diner, but grew lazy and disinterested after the incident. It did not help that he was one of the few blacks in the predominantly white community at the time.
Yes. Disinterested in the internet itself.
Yes. His passion for the visual arts was sparked when he found old Polaroids and home movies of his parents. Freelancing helped pay rent, but the man had long set his sights on the indie film scene. It was during the creation of his first documentary that a robbery occurred, and Ashton was there to investigate. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time led to Zachary being placed as a suspect, but the rookie detective helped clear his name. Oh.
That rookie detective saved his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jill. He's had a shit childhood.
Vivid or not, what little I can remember does not matter. Read this thing.
Regardless, the desperation sticks, clawing up, pushing, urging me to relive every moment, every sensation, and there's a twinkle in Ma's eyes when she looks up from her work, flour dusting her nose and cheeks. The scent of freshly baked bread wafts from the oven as soon as Pa opens it, and the homely fragrance of honey fills the room. He reaches up to wipe the small beads of sweat away from his forehead before gesturing for me to come closer the moment he spots me on my little hiding spot behind the door. I expected him to be angry, but his pat on my back when I come within his arm's reach is encouraging enough. We'll have to taste these first before we put them up for sale tomorrow. You up for it, little man? Is it good enough? A knock cuts through the air before I can answer. Sharp, heavy, demanding, familiar. So, you skipped that one. Ma ushers me out of the kitchen when Pa moves to answer it. But I know. I know what waits outside. The taste of blood in my mouth sends an unpleasant churning in my gut. Ma's apron crinkles under my tight grip. Something snaps back into place. My bed remains in an utter disarray. The walls still need a new paint job, and the wall clock ticking opposite my bed is as unsettling as ever. I'm coming, damn it! Ash is right. I should have already replaced that when I had the chance.
You're no longer there, Zachary. Here and there are miles apart. Calm down. Breathe.
Hi, Lunar.
Hi, Lunar.
This is Dane. He's with me because Jill wanted to have a nap.
The pressure of my own fingers against my temple is a welcome sensation over the anxiety gripping me. It never really did anything to stave off the headache sure to follow after this before, but it grounds me. A little reminder that I'm safe, away from the place I once called home, from Ma and Pa's. The urgency with each rap that follows finally chases away the ghost threatening to hang around. Why anyone thinks it's a good idea to knock at someone else's door this late confuses me.
Yes, Lunar. Yes. I got the possessed ending.
Yeah, Hana's a yandere now.
So, Jill, do you want to join a call with me and Dane?
Nana would chase them all away with a broom if she was here. But no matter, it's a welcome break from the thoughts about to take a morbid turn if left festering.
Okay.
Jill says, hells yeah.
Alright, so, Jill, we're gonna bring you into the call. There you go. There we go.
Hi, Jill.
There we go. I'm not muted. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you, I felt a little weird being Mocha's only guest.
Especially after I was like munching on some bloated fries for comfort.
I shall
Yeah.
do my utmost to keep Zach alive, Lunar says.
Okay, thank you. I really, really want that. So, it's probably...
He gonna die.
He gonna die!
No, he won't. He'll be a survivor. I swear it. Maybe Hana's dead, but not Zach.
Well, maybe not dead, just possessed.
Yeah.
Because, she fucking weird.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's because I opened the frickin', trapdoor.
You know, that's a possibility.
Yep. Anyway.
It's always a possibility.
Yep. Okay, so. It's probably just Ash anyway. Looking for a place to crash. Looking for a place to crash.
Looking for a place to crash.
Wonder of wonders why he's bothering with courtesy when he never did so before. Even with that hunch, though, habit compels me to check who it is first through the peephole. Better safe than sorry, they say, except the person that greets me on the other side ain't him. Unless his hair grew no longer overnight and he started wearing a ponytail, which I highly doubt will happen anytime soon, no matter how funny that looks in my head. I waste no time opening the latches.
Isabella, it's late.
It's the first girl!
There's something I can't quite pinpoint in her eyes when she looks up. Her face is a pallid shade, shoulders tense, breathing heavy, and uncontrollable shaking in her hands as she's trying to hold back. Hide, if I didn't know any better.
Luna, you knew?
Sorry, I know it's weird for me to show up at this hour, but you were the closest to my office, and...
No,
this is right after
it's
her
perfectly
story.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm not really working on anything
True.
right now. Do you want to come in?
Is it all right? I know you should be sleeping at this hour, but I thought... I'm sorry, I just thought I have no idea why I went here. My feet just moved on their own after I got out of the office, and...
I think it's because we have a high
pissed
relationship with him.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is some pretty high relationship.
Sorry.
She trails off, her voice lost in the muggy night air. I wait for her to say more, but instead her only response is a downward shift of her gaze back to her still trembling hands, if the motion alone is enough of an explanation. Oh, you know what each choice does? Okay, a minuscule gesture. Easy to miss if one's not paying attention. But for someone who has seen the same expression on the mirror, done the same thing too many times when night terrors are inevitable...
Hey, don't worry about it. At least you not. Ash just barges in and crashes on the couch whenever he feels like it.
You're pissed at that.
I swear, that guy is one fine hairline away from being a
Oh,
criminal.
she always goes to him when
Besides,
she
you
lives,
already
even if
know
their
you can count on
relationship
me
is
whenever.
bad.
Do any of you want to read this? I need to rest my voice a bit.
Sure, I
Without
can go.
waiting for her answer?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
No, you
No,
do
you
it.
go ahead, Joe.
Are
You go
sure?
ahead. I insist, Joe. I insist.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I mean, how are we gonna do that, really?
Okay.
Dynamite.
Okay, then Dane wins.
Yeah, go for it. It's good.
Damn it. I was going to be if I win, you go. Without waiting for her answer, I step away from the door and saunter over to the kitchenette. Saunter over the kitchenette. For a few good seconds, only the clinking of the plates can be heard above the constant tick-tock. Late as it may be for a snack, the familiar emotions keep me occupied, steering my mind away from dangerous thou. Isabella's company is not unwelcome either. Whatever her reasons for showing up here at such an hour, doesn't matter. Why am I getting into a southern accent? I'll be damned if I just turned her away, frazzled as she is.
And we can move over to Jill.
The door clicks shut behind her when she finally enters, feet scuffling softly against the tiled floor. In all the years I've known her, she has never once lost her ever upbeat spirit. Yet in this particular moment, as she stands in my doorway, holding her arms close to herself. Oh no, I went black. Oh, it's back. It's as if I'm looking at someone completely withdrawn from the person I've come to know all these years.
Do you want to drink or eat anything? I haven't restocked my food stash yet, so ingredients may be a bit limited. But I'm sure I can whip something up with what I have here.
Just water will do, please. Thanks, Zach.
What? No additional food requests? That's new. I'll put something together for you anyway. Feel free to make
It'll
yourself
help
at
her.
home. You ain't exactly a new visitor here. Although my room's not at its most presentable right now. Sorry. New freelance gigs and such. Didn't have time to fix things up here lately.
It's okay. I don't mind.
Usually she'd have something more to say about that. A quip, a witty remark to provoke a laughter or two. Nothing from her this time. Only a weak smile before she takes a seat on the couch in a silence that stretches out until what we left hanging feels disconcerting.
Whoa.
Before everything turns stifling and awkward, I continue talking if only to keep the dead air at bay.
Goodbye, dead air.
Get out of here, dead air.
How's one supposed to keep a conversation going when the person you're talking to is like this?
Fine, I want to be here anyway. Can you pay for my cab?
Anyway, Gigs, can you believe this one client we got? Boss had all my scheduled shoots shifted after they caught wind of this couple buying a new property. Man, must be nice to have all the money in the world. The world itself moves
That's
for you,
probably
huh?
the wrong subject to talk about right now, Zach. Just saying.
Eh, boy.
She's curled up on the couch and hugging her knees close when I bring the tray carrying the sandwiches and the water she requested.
Oh, Lunar Sister says, I remember what I forgot to comment on YouTube, the relationships. Funnily enough, it's the rights that have the most people to be paired with, while Zach and Isabel can only be paired with one person. What?
Is it each other? Can they only be paired with each other?
I think Pia feels threatened. She can't have her Zachary.
If he's happier with another person, I'll let him go. But I'm looking for another Zachary.
And before Mocha finds a knife.
Zach, Hannah, Ashton, Isabella. Wait,
Zach?
really?
Zach
You pair
goes
Zach
down a
up with
bit.
Hannah?
Yeah, you can, since she was flirting with him.
You know, he'd make a much better husband than fucking Luke. Just saying.
Yeah.
Give or take, if it wasn't for Hana becoming a yandere at this point.
Yeah, at this point, she's not a good fit. She's going through some shit.
That's
They found a
right.
pretty nice.
I'm gonna have to play this game again and try to see if the Hana and Zach can happen.
Yeah, fuck Luke.
Luke can die alone. Anyway.
Luke can go fuck himself.
Or, you know, he can fuck the other woman.
Yeah, you know, that's an option. She's-
Or his tenant.
No, he's married.
Yeah, he's already married, so like Luke is kind of fucked.
Well, then
Fair
again,
point.
the woman was also married, so who knows? He's just a homewrecker. Anyway, she starts to straighten up as I'm unloading the contents, but pauses as soon as I hold up my hand in a halting
You're a
gesture.
guest. Didn't I say you're free to make yourself at home? Here's your water. Careful.
Bitch,
Trimmer.
you staying in my house.
Fucking relax. Damn it. The tremor in her hands, though lighter now, still hasn't subsided when she reaches for the glass. I give her a questioning look, but she is quick to avert her eyes, keeping herself occupied by taking small gulps of water. Or maybe she just doesn't want me asking questions. Worrying. The sudden loss for words about a quiet, not normally present in our chats. When the creaking of the old chair, when I...
Oh shit, something just occurred to me. If she died, is it Zach that discovers she's killed?
I'm sure it would be, considering how high the relationship is.
Or maybe it's
Well, no.
Ashton.
Lunar says it doesn't matter, so I was just wondering if he's the one that discovers she's killed.
Even the creaking of the old chair when I casually take a seat is a welcoming break. Though the company's familiar, this has gone way
What
past
happened?
unnerving.
Overtime at work?
She doesn't answer immediately. Another gulp drains her glass of its remaining contents. One would think it would be enough to help her recover, yet she doesn't lose her taut grip on the glass as she cradles it in her lap. Her eyes take an unfocused gaze when she speaks again.
Yeah. Boss handed me extra work today. After what happened to Rose.
You mean that mansion?
Rose. Why do I feel like you've mentioned her before?
What? Luke is a whore.
Luke is a super whore.
Luke Hannah? Luke, well, he's not a, yeah, he's married to Hannah, so. Luke
Wait, he can pair up with Rebecca? Oh god.
Wait, Hannah and Marina can? And Marie? Mariana? Luke and Rebecca. Ugh.
Sorry, I'm better with remembering faces than names.
She was my coworker. That will take some getting used to. I was just talking to her the other day.
Was? Did she resign or something? I think I'm missing
don't
a few
know
details.
Died,
that?
didn't she?
You've never met
Yes,
her.
she did.
I think I did mention her once or twice. It doesn't matter. You probably heard her name recently from the news than me.
Something clicks then. A little memory from the night before. The bright red light from the dark room, the strong odor of the stop bath, the television's barely audible murmur in the background, and a glimpse of a bloody room. The news is everywhere, even in the morning that follows. I just didn't think its effects will strike someone this close to me.
Oh, damn. I didn't mean to bring that up.
Oh,
Wait, there's a girl named Jack?
No. That's someone else.
No, like I said, it'll take some getting used to, but it'll get better. I hope it will.
Jack is like a person from her chapter.
Things might become a little busier for me, though. She left a lot of things
alright.
unfinished. And I'm one of the few people in the office who knows how she works. Boss thinks the transition will be easier if I handle it.
That explains it. Well, just don't forget you still need rest. Even the most
At this
hardworking
point,
people
he
I
would
know
have
don't
seen
keep
the
hours as
scary
late as
lady
this.
in his camera,
Hell,
right?
the subway stopped running hours ago. Crime rate might be lower here than most places, but that doesn't mean you can walk around freely in the middle of
In
the night.
one way or
It's just
another.
for today.
Still a good thing you dropped by here first. I'm not just about to let you walk out here alone, especially not in the middle of the night. Who knows what else could happen? I'm not saying you should go right now, but I could accompany you home if you...
No! Wait, please!
The vehement?
Vehement.
Vehement.
Or something like that.
Tension in her voice makes me pause, and it is in this instant the mask she's been keeping falls apart, if only for a short while. Right then and there, I understood what's hiding behind her unfocused stare from the moment she arrived. Fear. Pure, unadulterated fear. It's disturbing to see such marring her usual upbeat counter. Counter what? I accidentally clicked.
Countenance.
Countenance. There we go. With a sigh, I cross the small distance separating us and kneel in front of her. She doesn't flinch when I do so. However, the way she appears to make herself smaller against the couch is telling
Bella,
enough.
This ain't just about your coworker, is it? What is it really about? I'm all ears.
The sound of glass shattering rents through the air as soon as her hold on it loosens. In the span of a few seconds, her breathing
I don't know.
slowly grows labored.
I don't know anymore.
She claps her hands over the ears, pressing it tightly against the sides of her head. Her voice grows weaker with every word, each plea coming out of her mouth.
Please don't leave me alone. I don't want to be alone right now. I can't shake it off. Everywhere's not safe and...
All right,
Who?
Isabella. Look at me. Look at me.
My hands are firm on her shoulders when I pull her up to look at me. It takes every force of will to ignore the terror in her eyes in favor of taking control of the situation. Too close, too
Breathe.
similar.
Breathe. You're safe here. Inhale, hold, exhale. Stay in the present.
No, she's got to go back into the past.
She's like Samurai Jack, only less fights.
I'm here. No one's gonna hurt you. Do you want to talk about it?
The force with which she shakes her head is enough to drop the topic
No more.
altogether.
Please, no more. I don't want to remember anymore.
Okay, no more talking. I won't ask any more. Can I get you anything? Another glass of water? I think I have a tub of that pistachio ice cream you love so much.
Ice cream.
Ice cream sounds good right now.
We're gonna have to clean
That's
this
a good
mess first.
suggestion.
Will you
It's
be
like
fine on your own for a
110
little while?
Fahrenheit in our area, dude. I don't know if you understand Fahrenheit, because you guys use Celsius, don't you?
Eh.
I'm asking
I
Jane.
mean, not. Question: where do you think I'm from?
I think you're the Norwegian?
No.
That's whale duck. I mean,
He's-
I'm American.
Oh, okay.
He's,
Okay.
he's from Arizona.
Oh, yeah, no, you know about
Arizona?
Ethan.
I'm from Colorado.
I think he used to be. Didn't she used
Yeah,
to be in
it's
Arizona?
110. It's 110 up here in fucking Oregon, so it was fucking bad today.
Wait, Dane, I could have sworn that originally you were from Arizona.
No, I lived in Arizona during one of the few months.
Oh, so you moved to Colorado. I did not get updated on this.
Well, no, here's the thing. I lived in Arizona, lived in Nevada. I currently reside in Colorado.
Okay. He's
So,
just moving
I know
all
how
over the place.
I move all over the place.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. She nods slightly before retreating into herself again. No more words are exchanged after that, and I take this as my cue to start cleaning the shards littering the floor before either one of us get hurt. The quiet hum of the AC is a pleasant distraction as I go over the menial task. More so than her ragged draws of breath or my little feeble attempts to tell a quick story or two. But the latter does the trick, and soon enough she's already drifted by the time I return with the promised glass of water, her chest rising and falling in steady rhythm, the strain on her shoulders gone. Frankly, I've never seen her like this. She mumbles something I don't quite catch when I carry her to the empty bed and hugs herself tighter against the mess of blankets. Despite the fact that she appears relaxed, a small frown on her face hasn't quite disappeared. Whatever happened to her won't be leaving her anytime soon. But for her sake, I hope it won't stay long with her. Because no matter what promises I've made, this kind of fear no person could shield her from. I should know. There's still questions left to be answered. But the late hour coupled with the sudden exhaustion made my old couch a more comfortable bed than it typically is. Darkness immediately welcomes me as my head hits my makeshift pillow. I can only
Hello,
wish
darkness,
that-
my old friend.
Come to speak with you again.
Hey, baby,
anyway.
how you doing?
Lunar suggested, I don't know who suggested it, but someone suggested that might be before he goes to take the gig from Hannah. And so he's not, like, assuming, oh, it's that crazy lady you seen, right?
I see.
I don't remember who suggested that, though.
I can only wish the dreams will keep me at distance for now. For both of us. October 25th. It's a Tuesday. Can someone read this for me?
The first few notes, while muffled, are enough to wake me up. In the end, it became one of those nights when sleep passes like a blink and it's plagued with vague, fuzzy thoughts. I have left a hand to rub away the drowsiness from my eyes, although it does little to relieve the gritty, burning sensation from my eyelids.
My eyes!
Outside, the sun is yet to peek over the horizon, but night has already given way to the cool morning light, washing everything in subtle gray hues.
I'm just feeling great today.
I mean, why not? It's a fucking horror game with a ghost chick chasing everyone.
Yeah, and those
Wouldn't feel
birds are
great.
coming around here too. I think the birds are the ghosts.
Yeah, they're probably linked to her in some way, shape, or form. Anyway, at this hour, the entire city remains unstirring. Ordinarily, waking up before my own alarm means abusing the snooze button twice or thrice just to catch those precious few extra minutes of sleep. But the persistent ringing makes it impossible now.
This better be good.
Groggily, I scramble for the bag sitting at the foot of the bed. The ringing still hasn't stopped even if I fish the phone out, and Ashton's name flashes brightly on the screen when I turn it on. Must be pretty urgent if he hasn't dropped the call yet.
Took you long enough, Z-Man.
Ashton, it's 6 in the morning. Sun
That is
hasn't
well,
even
well, it
risen.
is
Hell, my
summertime. Maybe
brain
it is 6
ain't
in the
even
morning.
awake yet. Stop calling me Z-Man.
It's 20 past 6, Zach.
You want to talk? Give me back my 5 extra minutes, Ash. I want my sleep.
Hey, don't make fun of me. I can be a more person too if I want to.
What's this all really about? You don't usually make calls around this hour. Is the world ending today?
Sorry about that. Becca rang me up a few minutes ago looking for Isabella. Said she didn't show up in her own apartment last night. We both tried calling, but her phone seems to be off. Do you have any idea where...
I should have known you two would come looking for her first thing in the morning.
Not a laughing matter, Zach. You can't really let your guard down with everything that's happened here recently. You've heard about the Cooper woman from the news. Everyone in the precinct has been restless ever since the incident the other day.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Listen, Ash.
I keep her in the locker in the back.
About Bella.
I let my voice trail off, unsure how to go about recounting last night. Oh god, it's slow for me.
If I should even say anything to him. He might be a close friend, but at the end of the day, whatever's bothering her ain't mine to speak of in the first place. On the bed, Isabella remains as still as when I transferred her the night before. Sometime during her sleep, she pulled a blanket over herself and tucked into it comfortably. Like this, it's easy to forget the horror in her eyes or how much her hands and lips trembled. Save for the firm grip on the edge of the cover, she appears nearly as normal as she would any other day. Almost.
I'm not really sure how to go about this while being...
Zach, what about her?
Something. The worry, the concern must have surfaced in my tone, because his own shifts then. Carefully, as if he's preparing for the
Look,
worst.
you don't have to worry about her. She's with me right now. Since last night, in fact.
Oh, why didn't you just say so earlier?
She kinda knocked in the middle of the night. I couldn't possibly wake you two over that, and with how things are when she arrived, I thought it'd be best if I let her rest first. I just wasn't expecting people would be looking for her before the rooster even crows.
You could have at least called her something. Becca's beside herself with worry when she found out. You know how much she frets about the smallest stuff.
I know. I'm sorry. That was a lapse on my part. And I just didn't think, okay, you know what? Rebecca's worries ain't completely baseless. Isabella hasn't been her usual self since the movie. Maybe even before that. I don't know if I should be opening my mouth about this, but Bella didn't outright say I shouldn't, so...
So something's wrong then?
I'm not quite sure, to be completely honest. I couldn't get the story out of her.
Really? I thought you'd learned something from me by now.
That's not it. Ash, when she appeared at my doorstep last night, she was shaking, and when I tried to ask her about it, she just panicked. Had this frightened look on her face. I'd be surprised if this was the first time I've seen it, but it ain't. Dude, the first time, she was screaming.
First time? When was this? You weren't talking about the thing in the movie house, are you? Because that was just us fooling around. Granted, I think I went overboard with the joke, but...
No, it happened the day after. When she invited us to lunch, you weren't there. We were walking one second, and then the next, she's crying out. I'll be straight with you. That scared me shitless.
It bothered him. If the way he falls silent after his telling, or whatever his opinion stays absent from his voice when he speaks again. He's always been good with that, kind of what he thinks.
Did she say anything else?
Nothing. Won't tell me anything aside from a few vague words. I didn't want to push it.
Well, you have to be good at hiding things if you're a detective.
Where is she? Is she still sleeping?
Right here with me, still sleeping. Should I wake her up or something? Let her know you guys are looking for her?
No need. Let her rest. I'll drop by in a few.
Today? Don't you have work at this time? I mean, I can drop her off home myself before meeting my client later.
Look who's talking.
My schedule's flexible, Ash. Last time I checked, you're the one who didn't have that luxury. How on earth do you think I'm able to tag along when you need me?
It's not completely out of the way.
They live on the other side of the town from you, Ash. Your definition of out of the way is a little screwed up, you know.
It's fine. I have some things I need to do anyway. I'll call you back. I've got to let Becca know that Scared Cat's fine.
He drops the call before I can even get a word in. But for several minutes after, I find myself simply listening to the rest of the Luxembourg rouses. Ruses? The increasing sound of passing traffic, the bustle of the nearby shops preparing for the day, and the growing clamor of the people while they go about their morning. Not the most soothing sounds to hear following a troubled night, but the routine puts me at ease nevertheless. What's comforting, what's safe, what I'm used to. Nearby, Isabel shifts but doesn't wake, blissfully unaware as the city slowly stirs itself back to life. Was
The
the night
boring
as
life.
restless as the one I had? Were dreams as lucid? In hushed moments like these, I envy her. Unreasonable, probably a little unfair, to say such in a light of last night. But the only forgetting is as easy as breathing. Anyway, let's see here. Anyway, this is the 25th.
Oh, it looks like the 26th is when he does the photo shoot.
Yeah, 26 is when he does the photo shoot. Yeah.
Oh, so he's on his way to go do it now.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be coming back to Isabella and being like, "Hey, girl, I know what you talk about."
And that's on
I
the
actually gotta go
29th.
ask Brett a question, so I'll be right back.
Okay, Dane, your turn.
A small yawn escapes me when I rise from the couch to shred. Luckily, the short conversation with Ash had effectively driven away any will to go back to bed. I still have a day to get through despite the proverbial ghosts hanging around.
Eh.
The orange bottle sitting at the edge of my table is reassuring against the... it went black.
Oh,
There we
no.
go. Against my palm, the instant I pick it up. The sterile odor of the capsules equally so. Yet the weight they carry is something I've never gotten used to. Years ago, I'd spend minutes, heck, even hours staring at a single pill prior to taking one in. Now, it's just routine. A way to stave off the unwanted nightly visit. Although I don't think Dr. Navarro will be quite pleased if he ever finds out I'm relying on them again. I do owe him a visit regardless, especially after missing our appointments on purpose and ignoring his calls for weeks. Because I'm a procrastinator. Another sigh comes out, tired and weary, and then I pop the tablet in my mouth.
Zach? What time is it?
Alright, the bottle on my head hits the table with more force than necessary. As much as I trust my friends, there are some things I'd rather keep
Morning,
to myself.
Bella. Did you sleep well?
She answers the question with a long drawn-out yawn, one reminiscent of a child. A chuckle manages to come out of my mouth at that sight. In this manner, it's easy to mistake her for someone too young for responsibilities. Inexperienced and immature, even. Easy to forget she was thrust into the role of an adult earlier than her own dreams can afford, to overlook how surprisingly observant she can be at times. Maybe not the same level as Ash exercises for his investigations or Rebecca needs for her own work, but it's certainly enough to deftly put what she sees around her on canvas. And if the way her eyes flickers to the table in my hand says something, it is that I won't be able to avoid the questions this time.
Only a little. I don't remember how I ended up on the bed, though.
Ma doing? You didn't look very comfortable sleeping on the couch, all hunched up like that.
It would have been enough for something temporary. Sorry I stole your bed.
Hey, it doesn't matter. Besides, what kind of gentleman would I be if I leave a lady sleeping in such uncomfortable conditions?
I don't know.
Not in this house. My nana will give me a tough scolding if I ever did that, I'm telling you.
Thanks a lot, Zach. I know I barged in at a very inconvenient time last night. I wasn't really thinking when I did, and...
Hey, it's
Okay, I'm
cool, Bella. I ain't mad at you.
Welcome back.
That's what friends do. You guys are welcome here
They're talking about
anytime.
couches in the chat.
Yeah,
Although
well,
Ash and
couches
abuses
are
the
good.
anytime part of life.
Couches are
I don't really
comfortable.
mind. We might have less wiggle room if all four of us are present, considering the size of this place. But as long as no one makes anything explode, it's totally fine.
Fine or not, I still owe you one for last night's trouble, especially since you don't seem to be...
Concerned expression passes over her features as she spares another cursory glance over the table back to the bottle, holding Every small piece of what keeps the bad memories at bay. Is that antidepressants or... Meh. The blood blooming over Papa's heart, the horrified look on Mama's face as she watches him fall lifeless on the ground, and every ounce of spite seeping from the stranger's smile. You don't belong here. You monkeys don't belong here.
You're not part of our kind.
I'm just reading things. It never stops, doesn't it?
Well, you don't seem to be feeling well. Let me know, okay? I'll make it up to you somehow.
I was just reading things. Don't take it out of context. She makes a slight gesture with her head towards the bottle. Asking a question without really asking. Subtly, she has never been one of her greatest assets, but right now, even Ash would have been a little amazed, if not a loss of words, at that. She has left it up to me whether I'll give her the response she wants to hear or not. A little clever come from her, if anyone would ask me. Play it off.
I mean, I would tell her the truth.
Yeah.
I honestly vote telling the truth just because you gotta be real with her. She's in a dark place. You came from a dark place. You gotta be real.
Right? Alright. Tell her. It's never easy, ain't it? Talking about my own problems, that is. It'll never be, not by a long shot. Everyone votes for the truth. Na 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 na. I reach out for the truth, not when I've left it stray all this way for so long. I realized that long ago, when the wounds are still fresh and the dreams are nightly occurrence. Can't force yourself to get better or move on to better things. It is what's normal now, and I can only cope. The question in her eyes may be unwarranted, born simply out of curiosity and sincere concern for a friend. I don't owe her an explanation, in fact. But of all the people I keep close in my life, she's probably one of the very few who perhaps I can trust with this. Maybe she won't understand entirely. I can never hope she will. No, never to the full extent. That alone is expecting too much to her and giving her too much of what I can. Look at that, almost all the way up to the top.
The tippity top.
However, for all her shortcomings, I know she'll hear me out. And that is all I can ask
My
of her.
bad. I was kind of hoping you wouldn't have seen me with these.
Pills rattled lightly against the container when I gently set it back to its usual place. I love Persona 4 music, I'm glad you do. Always a small area closest to my laptop near the right hand. Within reach whenever, and a quiet reminder of what I shouldn't miss every day.
What? Oh, is it bad? I was just thinking that maybe it's a cold like Becca's. Do you need me to get anything from the store? Soup or something? There's one nearby, right? I can run real quick and...
No, nothing of that sort. I'm perfectly healthy right now. It's really difficult to say, but can you promise me you'll listen at least?
What is this about, Zach?
I should have been upfront with you about this a long time ago. But Ashton found out without me telling him anything. But you already know how that guy is.
If it's something you're having trouble saying, you don't have to force yourself to tell me. I'll forget I ever saw anything and won't ask questions. Promise.
No, I need to get this off my chest eventually. Besides, we're already here. Might as well finish what I started, yeah?
If you say so.
She takes a seat out on the couch, her posture easy and open, and her smile honest. As if this is a simple talk between two friends on a regular day. It is far from one, but her unreserved air is enough to stamp down the twinge of unease that threatens to come up.
Let's hear it then.
And she does. Feels like yesterday. I got an achievement. True to her word, she listens to the story that spills out of my mouth of my ma and pa and the little old diner across the pond and what it left in me in that day. I can't recall most of it now. My own account jagged with a few missing details here and there. The passing years have eroded most of my recollection of the whole incident. All except for that one moment in the kitchen. The ringing of gunshots are as vivid as they sounded that day. Even Ma's hysterical screams the moment Pa's body hits the floor, his lifeblood flowing out from under him. And the gunman, he was smiling. He was smiling when Pa opened the door to welcome him. He was smiling when he put a bullet into Pa's chest and Ma's head. I've heard stories of how the world could be a cool place for people like us before. I never believed until that moment.
Nan and Gran took us right after that. Sis and I flew straight to New Jersey as soon as they heard the news. A few days after, Ma and Pa were laid to rest. And we have a new home a continent away. I didn't even get the chance to take my favorite pillow with me. They said something about the change of environment will be good for us. They had no idea the different kind of ghosts would follow me here.
I expected questions, mostly brimming with childlike curiosity and maybe some that are a little too hard to answer. But to her credit, she just sat there, lent her ears, and looked at me with no expectations or unnecessary judgment in her eyes. She'd be as wise and older like this. Easier to see the breadwinner in her. Okay, I'm gonna be ending soon. Okay. Her siblings are lucky to have her. Can you read, Jill?
Yes, I can. When I'm done after everything's been said, she wraps her arms around me. A bit awkward considering the gap in our heights, but it gets her sentiment across. But it's difficult to answer this in kind, and if I'm even supposed to reciprocate the gesture given my earlier apprehension. She pulls away shortly with a smile on her face.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Not the reaction I braced myself for, but it is obviously better than what I imagined.
Are you not gonna say anything?
Am I supposed to say anything after? Like, apologize or something? I don't think that's very appropriate, but if you want to hear one, I can think of something real quick.
Not really. Other people have something to say after usually. And they're not necessarily nice either.
Oh?
How about this?
Okay,
You
then.
have nice
I won't.
muscles.
I can't think of something anyway. Sorry, I'm not very good with this. Who else knows, by the way?
My older sister, grandparents, and just Ash and you for now. Maybe I think I should tell Rebecca too, but
But not right now?
yeah, not right now. When I'm ready. Like today.
I'm sure she'll be willing to hear you out once you do.
I don't doubt she will. I'm more afraid of how she'll react after. One step at a time, yeah? Whew. Surprisingly, it feels good to get that one out my chest. I was a little afraid you'd be angrier. I didn't tell you earlier than today.
I'm not angry. I'm just surprised. You didn't look like it. I wouldn't have suspected. I suppose that's how it often is, isn't it? We all have our... what's the word Becca uses? Inner demons? But this is something personal to you. I understand why you'd rather have a few people know.
That too. Well, these past few weeks haven't been easy for you. I didn't want to add that. Not after last night.
Something passes in her face, brief, fleeting, and disappears right before I can recognize what it is.
You okay?
Yep, no worries. I'll be fine. Look, about last night... Never mind. This isn't a good time, but don't lose sleep over this, alright? What's important is you got what you want to say out. And if you need me, I'll be here.
I should be relieved. Her words are more than reassuring to my ears. There should be comfort in hearing those alone and knowing that I have another person to rely on if things ever go bad. But somehow I find myself worrying more for her instead. I'll make another attempt to get the story out of her if I can. But this is a dance I know all too well, and with her I doubt forcing her to say something would yield any results. As much as I want to imitate Ash, there's only so much I can ask that won't result in something a little over disastrous. At best, she'll stop talking to me until a week passes. At worst, I'd rather not risk it. I've never seen her angry. Outright annoyed, maybe, and often directed at Ash, but never furious. What do they say again about happiest people when angered? Besides, it'd be unfair to her after our little chat.
So, food
The
then?
happiest people would most likely be murdered.
She seems relieved at the brisk change of subject, and as if it had been simply waiting its cue all this time, her stomach rumbles at the mention of food. Rather loudly, as a matter of fact.
Alrighty, Missy.
Yeah, it
We're
seems like
going to get
everyone's
some
getting
chow
food
now. Better be quick, though. Can't have your stomach starting a revolution on us here.
Don't make fun of me. I'm not that hungry. Maybe a little. I didn't think I'd end up skipping dinner last night.
And now we have one starved stomach protesting. Sorry, it'll be nothing fancy, since I'm a little low on stocks. I should probably drop by the grocery store after the meeting this afternoon.
I can make a quick run for you if you want.
Nah, I've got enough to put together something nice here. Maybe. I could always improvise if we're missing an ingredient or two. It ain't like we're going for a Michelin 3-star status here. Also, didn't I say you're a guest? Is this a Filipino thing? Or just Rebecca rubbing off on you?
The soft laughter that comes from her doesn't quite reach her eyes. Neither. The answer is neither. Because if she stays idle, she'll remember.
On second thought, I might need a little help slicing up the potatoes while I prep the ham. You up for that?
What? Do you think instant noodles are all I'm about? I'll have you know, I can cook a mean paella with my eyes closed. All my siblings love it.
Sure you can. Come on. I think I know what we'll do with those spare ingredients.
Something tells me Zach doesn't believe her.
Well, I think he understands what it's like to be terrified of something. But no one seems to believe her about Ghost Lady for right now.
Ah.
Despite the massive effort to keep the mood light with small chatter, cooking ends up being a mostly quiet affair. Between us, the consistent clapping of the knife against the board and the muffled noise from the television I left running, words have been surprisingly difficult to string together. Not entirely unusual, we've had moments like this before, but definitely unnerving with how things are now. I really wish someone else would come knocking at the door. As pleasant as this is, breaking the ice or keeping a conversation going has never been my forte. That has always been Isabella's or Rebecca's department. Sometimes Ash's, although the most coming from him border on awkward or embarrassing. Speaking of the guy, he never did call back, and I'm willing to bet my entire yearly salary that he fell right back to sleep after that call.
Sorry.
Yep, I got it. The potatoes are almost ready, by the way. I turned down the heat just in case. You might want to check on them, though. Hold on, I'll be right there. Sheesh, wait up. If you keep rapping at the door like that, you'll break it down. Ash.
Jump scare.
Oh, good. You're awake.
Ash has already welcomed himself in when I take my eyes away from the oven. He's never really been keen with the notion of courtesies after he's warmed up to you, this guy. He looks pale as fuck on the Discord, I'm just saying.
Super pale.
All 13 of my logs he broke can attest to that. He's a good fellow, though. Maybe a tad bit standoffish at first glance, but he's trustworthy.
Don't you have work today?
I could ask the same of you. Hey, Izzy, man.
You're late. Something came up? You need to drop the Z-Man. It's getting old.
Sorry, I got caught up with something at the precinct on the way here. Had to attend to that first before things got out of hand. I'd tell you about it, but you know how it can be with those kinds of things. Later, maybe.
And you're here because...
What? I'm not allowed to say hello?
I doubt you're here because of that. And you're not answering my question.
Ah, my bad. Forgot to mention that. He called earlier looking for you. Rebecca's worried because you didn't come home last night.
You could have called my cell instead.
You weren't picking up. Anyway, I'd really hate to cut this little get-together short, but I need to be somewhere else. Come on, Isabella, let's get you home. I'll drop you off on the way.
Wait, we're going now?
He lightly claps a hand on her arm and begins ushering her out of the apartment, throwing a casual wave at me as they pass.
What a
Isabella. Isabella, food for the CG! Isabella, on the other hand, doesn't appear too fond of the idea. And sure enough, before they can even cross the threshold, she puts a firm foot down, the force alone enough to hold them both and catch the Ptolemy off guard. It would have made for a funny picture. The way Ash almost crashes into her and Isabella giving him an indignant pout over her shoulder. Surprise and confusion are all on his face at once, two things that rarely ever grace it if he can help it. A rare moment even for our small group. If only I had my camera with me. It's right there on the table!
He means on
Pick
his
up your own dang camera.
person. He means on his person.
What is it?
Zach cooked something.
If it's just food, I'll get you something on the way back.
But the food! It's Zach's cooking. Real delicious food that actually tastes like food. At least stay and have a bite. Please, Zach, help me here.
These two, whenever they're in the same room, sometimes it feels like herding a group of unruly kids instead of talking to two mature adults. One moment they're engaged in a pleasant chit-chat, and the next they're bickering over a minor issue. You're gonna say something, Dane?
Honestly, it just sounds like regular adulthood.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Frankly, if I didn't know any better and I have an overactive imagination, I'd say there's something going on. Never mind how utterly impossible that idea is. Or it might just be me reading too much into things like always.
Yeah, totally. Your imagination.
I can already hear Ash's laughter if I so much as suggest such. This, however...
I cooked up a feast.
Yeah, force Ash to eat!
Force him to eat or bleh.
Well, I'm pretty sure Lunar's saying food.
Okay.
I don't know about you two, but I think you guys should really stay. I've already made
Oh,
enough
and
food for all of
Bastion,
us.
too.
It'd be a
Good.
waste.
Woo, we made the right choice.
Why, I cooked up that special honey glazed ham you two keep on yapping about. Got some scalloped potatoes with onions and cheddar to go with it, too.
The oven timer dings. That's not an oven timer! I shoot the two of them an apologetic look before sauntering over the kitchen mittens. Oh god. Kitchen mittens in hand. The sweet smell of the glaze and salted tang of melted cheese wafts through the air as soon as I open the door and take out the two trays inside. The scent immediately fills the entire room, and even with the door and windows open, the mouth-watering aroma lingers.
Stomach, you shut up.
It's appealing enough that when I put the dishes down on the counter, another starved stomach protests loudly, followed by a burst of laughter. CinemaSins ding! How did I not hear that before? My head snaps up at the two of them, and I can't keep back the smile at the sight they make. Or at the sight they make. Oh, of course, I know sound effects tend to be used everywhere. Haha. Oh, I know, but you always end up associating them with something if you watch something enough. Isabella is clinging to the doorframe for support, doubled over with breathless laughter. Ash is the more composed of the two, trying to look unconcerned, but a flush has crept up his neck and cheeks. He's pale as fuck, so it's easy to see. It's clear whose stomach that came. It's clear whose stomach that came from, and Isabella's not gonna let him live this down.
You're in no place to reject an offer of free food, Frey.
I wasn't rejecting anything. Damn it, I just missed a meal, that's all.
Aw, he's flustered.
Shut it! Those guys at the precinct said it was urgent. Somebody has to be responsible for it.
Well, aren't you precious?
Right. You know, if you keep laughing like that, you'll burst.
I'm sure it won't be as bad as your stomach suddenly rumbling like a starved.
Aye, kiddos, play nice. Food's gonna get cold if we keep this up. Ash, you gonna stay?
Might as well, since Scaredy Cat's so hell-bent on staying.
She hadn't eaten! Y'all need to chill. We eventually settle down after the food has been served. The jive's replaced by another round of friendly chatter, mostly about what's on the news the night before. There is, however, a conscious effort to avoid mentioning what's currently on the headlines. The dead is never a good topic to talk over food in polite company, this case in particular. The wounds are too fresh, too soon. I'd likely avoid it as well if I were in her position, and someone I personally knew passed away in a gruesome manner like that. So perhaps the closest we got to broaching the topic is when the infamous mansion is brought up again. But even then, we are careful, Ash and I. We keep the conversation light and avoid bringing up her late business partner. It's the least we could do.
The Wrights? Yeah, they're planning to move in soon. In fact, they already have a housewarming party planned. It's why they wanted us to rush the papers. They wanted to send the invitations out as soon as possible.
Oh, now I get it.
Get what?
Remember what I told you last night about the new clients?
Vaguely? Sorry. I was a little out of it yesterday. Was it the photo shoot?
Yep. It's actually for the one you sold. Something. When you put it that way, I suppose it makes sense why my boss wants me to prioritize the couple. They can have those documents rushed at just a snap of their fingers. Then they're more influential than I initially thought. Man, I guess my boss is expecting a lot more from this project than I expected. Hope I can live up to it.
Your photographs are more than good enough, Zach. You'd probably win an international award if you let yourself. Ma'am Hana's easy to please, too. As long as you're good at following instructions.
Easier said than done.
Oh, she ain't easy to
Different
please now.
clients have different tastes.
Oh god.
Still, a week? I don't think that's possible.
Now that you mentioned it, yeah. They wanted everything finished at the earliest. To be honest, it's not unheard of, but...
But it's still weird. Still weird, yeah?
A slip of the tongue. Still barely noticeable to someone who's already familiar with Ash's ways, yet in this moment, it's impossible to miss. I shoot him a curious glance, but he ignores it. Rather pointedly.
I can't exactly say it's like that, where I'm just the middleman after all. As much as I want to comment on it, I only know what's on the surface, not the in and outs. It's just that BRC and my boss are more hands-on with the legal stuff this time, despite having a separate department dedicated to it.
Maybe Mr. Wright helped with it too. They have their own legal team for this, don't they?
Well, they should have one. Especially for a big
Top of my
property
feet, it's
like
right here
this.
now.
They have, but like I said, it's off our hands. Rose and I don't handle this stuff in the office. If anything, to me, this just means I'll be able to send the rest of the funds to Papa's treatment earlier.
I guess that makes a whole lot of sense. Officially off our instant noodle diet, aren't we?
Ash, has anyone ever told you that you have an uncanny way of ruining the mood?
What? I was just saying. A few more months of stuffing your face with those, and I'm sure you'll start to look like a noodle cup. That's a pretty picture.
At least I don't live off convenience store food. Or make poor, unassuming pressure cookers explode.
What? How did you... Oh, come on, Zach.
Sorry. It just came up while we were cooking earlier.
I'm impressed, Ashton
That's depressing
Frey.
to know.
You even made it to the news.
A one-time thing. And it wasn't as big as you seem to be imagining.
Oh, sure. Let's all pretend that one time you almost set my apartment on fire didn't happen too.
Hey, that was an accident.
You were making a salad, Ash.
How do you what? Excuse me.
How?
Ash, what the fuck were you doing?
Did you actually try
Being
to
a
cook lettuce?
Oh god.
Let's dump this oil on lettuce and toss it into the burner.
Yeah, that's a great. He's like one of those Sims with no fucking cooking skills. Make a salad, burn the house down.
Oh my god, why was it in one world? In what world do you cook a salad?
Well, if Ghost Lady ain't gonna kill him, it'll be Ash.
Can we please move on to a different topic?
It helps. The casual talk, the harmless teasing, the mundane story is interesting enough to let time pass unnoticed. By the time lunch ends, the shadows are no longer at the forefront of my mind. A mystery we'll never solve. If it's the same for Isabella or whatever troubles her, I can never tell. These things, the anxiety, the fear, they ain't easily seen, ain't easily forgotten after all.
You go on ahead. I've got a few things I need to ask Zach. I'll be downstairs in a minute.
Probably cooking tips.
Confusion briefly flashes in her eyes as she catches the keys he tosses over, but he doesn't give her an answer and waves for her to go on ahead.
How sure are you I won't be driving away with your Shirley?
You don't even have a license. Do you even know how to?
Papa taught me how. I'm probably a better driver than you. See you later, Zach. Thanks for the food.
Ooh,
Always has to have the last word, don't you?
You're welcome. I'll send you the recipe for the potatoes tonight.
Awesome. The grin is back on her face when she leaves and closes the door behind her. For a little while after we're left alone, Ash goes wholly quiet, listening and waiting for remaining footsteps in the hall to fade. The earlier amusement has gone from his face, replaced by what I can only describe as trepidation.
Trepidation.
Yeah. I know that look all too well. When he's like this, he's expecting shit about to go down at some point soon.
That wasn't very nice, Ash. What was that with Isabella earlier? You're usually subtler with your questions.
They hired you.
Hired me who? Don't change the subject yet. What's really going on here?
The Wrights. Luke and Hannah Wright. You said your next gig is with them.
Is that what this is all about?
Just be careful around them. You have no idea what you're dealing with when it comes to that couple. I'd rather you stay as far away from them as possible, but you're already here. Isabella's their real estate agent. Seriously, of all the people in Luxburn.
Okay. I guess I'll just have to take your word for it.
He nods, claps a comforting hand on my back, and turns to leave without another word. He's never been good with those. More often, he fumbles with what he wants to say, but his actions alone are enough to tell me how grateful he is for the trust. He reaches for that knob as soon as he gets to the door, but doesn't turn it. Instead, he looks back and gestures with his head towards the table. I don't need to follow his line of sight to know what he's going to ask about. He's likely taken notice of it the moment he entered the room.
You back on those? I haven't seen you taking them in a year.
Yeah, I kinda had to. It got worse after the film fest. The dreams, that is. I don't think I'll be doing that again anytime soon.
Heard about
Aw.
that. Don't drop it, though. You don't want Becca scolding you. She actually enjoyed the movie you made, and she's hard to please. Consider that a small victory.
You don't have to tell me. She already did. Rebecca and Bella both gave me an earful after I said the opposite. Promised them I wouldn't, but you can never tell. Hopefully, once I feel better, I'll be able to think about it properly. Speaking of Bella, she didn't open up to me, but maybe with you and Rebecca.
Yeah, I'll try. I can't promise anything, but I'll talk to her.
Thanks. That's all I'm asking.
This time, when he reaches for the door, he lets it close fully behind him without glancing back. Mild draft sweeps into the room as I close the door behind him, slightly disturbing the papers on the nearby fridge. Looks good.
That does look tasty. I'm hungry now.
A lone note flutters by my feet, the letters on the surface glaring at me with mute intensity. Ermengarde Mansion, H. Wright, 11 a.m.
For luxury living.
After Ashton's warnings, they all hold different meaning now. The next 2 days rush by in a blur, although leaving a collective mess of work suddenly piling up and new unexpected acquaintances or friends? Depends on how you look at it, really. Oh, he's humming! Either way, I'm stuck developing these photos at 3 in the morning to reach a deadline set by an overeager art director. Oh, so he's already done he's already done the gig, he's just processing the photos now. Don't get me wrong, Julius is good, has a vision, and knows what he wants, but damn, he can be too enthusiastic sometimes.
Doesn't matter when you couldn't sleep anyway.
There's nothing new in it, of course. After years of working as a freelance photographer, it's simply something I've grown used to. Get to know people, build a client base, do good work, and cash in some late hours if need be. Rinse and repeat. Certainly takes a while to get some footing on the field, but it's the kind of thing that pays off in the long run as long as you keep at it. Oh, boy, don't I know that. Given enough time, you might end up with big names on your client list. Names like the Wrights in particular. Never did pay much attention to them, but it's virtually impossible not to hear about them when a local news channel or paper has something to say on their name. A party here, an acquisition there. Sometimes it's a new business venture, other times it's the everyday gossip that typically follows popular people like them. Not in a million years did I ever imagine I would end up working for such a high-profile couple. And between that and the fuss that comes with, it leaves me no time to ponder over whatever happened to Isabella or why Ash is so adamant we keep away from the pair.
They do seem like the good folk, though, despite the whole fame thing.
Well, Hannah did. Sure, there was a rumor running around years ago about him being involved in some business scandal. But just like every gossip blown out of proportion by the media, nothing came of it, and eventually it simply died down. Much is definitely left to be said for the husband, but I doubt a woman like Miss Wright would pick him if he doesn't have any good points at all. Miss Wright, Hannah herself, though, she ain't particularly bad the way the press makes her out to be. The tabloids had it all wrong. That's for sure. For someone born with a silver spoon in her mouth, well, she ain't exactly what I was expecting. Among other things, this newfound friendship is what I least expected from her, but here we are.
Give her one day.
Yeah, give her one hit. Although with a life as public as the Wrights, no wonder it's the woman who often gets the crappy end of the stick. I can't help but feel sorry for her. She's a real nice person when given the chance. Heck, she might have even ended up friends with Rebecca and Isabella, too, if they weren't living worlds apart. Probably. The bead quickly pulls me back before I thought to travel any further. In one practice motion, I carefully place the wet print I'm holding on a dry rack and amble to my makeshift darkroom to get the last photos from the water bath. Inside the converted broom closet, the film processor lets out another soft clack before going on its standby mode. At its mouth, a lone photograph sits on the tray, barely visible with the lack of light. It's the last one tonight for the set Miss Wright requested. I don't usually make this a habit, giving away stuff that is. It's bad for the business no matter how well-intentioned or generous you are. This exception, however, she did treat me well and was a pleasant companion all throughout the shoot. Even if she didn't ask, I would have probably given her a few prints just for the hell of it. Miss Wright ain't such a bad subject matter to begin with. And maybe this is just me, but for someone who has everything at the palm of her hands, all the money in the world, a loving husband, and a plenty big mansion to call home, she's lonely. She doesn't just appear like it. It shows in the tone of her voice, how she moves, and most certainly in her smiles. Always hidden behind the glamour for the world to never see. Sometimes for people like her, small things like these helps. A little reminder that the world can be kind too. Oh, now it's slow for me.
It's a text crawl.
Water drips from the paper as I blindly pick it up and gently lay it on another tray, holding a decent amount of photo flow. A few seconds into the solution is all it needs before it's ready for drying. No good rushing this last one, even if my body's already screaming for some decent snooze. My hand fumbles for the light switch, moving towards it with familiarity, while I fish for a squeegee among the rest of the mess of tools on a drawer with the other. The bulb flickers twice before its glow settles and casts a soft light in a tiny space. When I glance back down, squeegee in hand, ready to finish the process and finally call it a night. Come on, Discord, Jesus.
What on earth?
He's gonna have a
Is it
photo.
edible? Her head is gone.
Oh god.
Spooky.
Blurred and distorted beyond recognition, rather. The area completely smudged over, leaving no trace of the same sweet smile the good woman carried in all the previous prints.
Damn, that was too careless.
Common mistake to make, of course, if one is negligent enough to pick up a newly processed photo in the dark like I apparently did. It has happened before, loads of times, actually. But I still can't help but feel a small pang of frustration over one mistake a newbie would likely make. With a sigh, I reach up for the switch again, intending to develop a new one from scratch.
It could pass off for one of those supernatural pictures they show on TV, though.
Memory clicks, one cursory thought in the sea of many, and a short yet distinct second from the day before. A glimpse is all I got, but it's enough to burn the image in my mind. There was a shadow. No. A woman. In her 20s or early 30s, maybe? But with how far gone her flesh alone has become, it's not possible to tell at first glance. The skin itself has already taken a sickly pale color, rotten in most parts, blood dripping from every open gash and lesion on her body. Bony hands grip Miss Wright's neck like a noose, staining the skin underneath with a vibrant shade of scarlet. Nothing but malice fills the gleams in her eyes.
Zachary?
Not for me. But for Miss Wright.
Zach, is something the matter?
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong. I just remembered something, that's all. Let's get back to the pictures. Can you move a bit more to the left, yeah?
The memory alone is enough to make me retch.
Spooky.
Yeah. I brushed it off then. Oh, look, her brain! I couldn't see it that well in the Discord screen share, but I'm sure it'll show up perfectly clear on YouTube.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Why, yes. Yes, it did.
The trick of the eye, I told myself, are a product of the heat. The weather has been unexpectedly warm recently, so it shouldn't be too surprising for such things to happen. And, well, blaming this on the usual fatigue and overworked brain, the weather, or an amateur error on my part is far more convenient. It makes a whole lot of sense than what the small voice inside of my head whispers. And
Oh God, what has happened?
I can't understand. Oh, there we go.
There
Discord
we go.
was fucked up. The same tiny voice that only makes itself known when something's afoul. The same one that lent a curious ear to Isabella's worries about the mansion. And with each second I spend staring at this photograph, the murmurs in my head only grow louder against my ears.
Who do I show?
You know-
Someone has to know.
Someone has to know. I suggest Ash.
It's the only way to get him to realize, hey, something fucked up is happening. How about you fucking believe Isabel?
Yeah.
Although I would like to hear what Lunar has to say, because we want to keep Zach alive.
I want Zach alive.
Tyler's ready for it to be cold. I'm tired of it being hot. I hear ya!
I thought Ty was saying I'm tired of being hot, and I'm like, you're attractive.
Oh my. Someone's
I'm
got
so-
the faucet.
Depends on whose affection you want to go up.
Get that Ash affection up. Hannah can go to the grave because all I care.
Hannah's pretty okay, all things considered. I would go ahead and up Ash a
Did you
little
not
bit.
see what happened?
What?
Hannah's kind of yandere right now. She won't
Yeah,
say
no,
anything.
I mean,
Wait, hold on. If I look at the book. Okay. Where she goes wrong is on the 29th. So she's still normal right now. Who do I show it to?
I want to show it to Ash
Well,
because
look-
he's such a fucking stickler of ghosts don't exist.
Right?
Ash will give me
Plus-
flack for this, he will.
Plus, it's best to give it to the detective.
Yeah. I can already hear what he's gonna say about this the moment I bring it up. Hell, before he even sees anything, I'll wager. This guy's a skeptic through and through, and it'll take more than my count for him to even consider this. But when you've been there, seen something enough to raise the hairs at the back of your neck and leave you wanting to flee or hide, What he thinks is the least of my concerns. I am no hero. That's a title best reserved for someone else.
Like Ash.
Still, if this will help him change his mind, it's worth a try. Isabella's gone and done the same thing, didn't she? Outside, the sun has yet to rise. I've still got a few hours before dawn, good enough to mull over how I'll go about this with him. Plenty of space to check if I get the same result, if I redo the process again. The film processor hums back to life at my touch, the light switch gives out a soft click. Yeah, I would save, just in case. And darkness embraces the small closet again.
Don't sound so silly now.
Sometimes I wish Ash would make himself easier to find. 24 messages, 13 phone calls, and 1 visit to his flat later. I still have no idea which rock in Luxborn he went off to hide under again. The guy has his own place but refuses to stay in it. Has his own phone but doesn't answer any of his calls or gives any indication he's gotten my messages. Most of the time, he'll just show up on my front door. Sometimes in the middle of the night complaining about how uncomfortable it is to sleep at the back of his Shirley, his car. As if the old couch in my flat is any better. Nothing new from him, though, but a bit frustrating, really. There's the police precinct, of course. Then again, he's not there most of the time either, and if that's also true for today, he's likely out on another stakeout. There's not much to do for me but to wait if that's the case.
Let's just hope I'm lucky enough today.
While Luxborn is a relatively peaceful city boasting a low crime rate, its precinct stays abuzz with activity. As soon as I open the glass front doors, murmurs coming from the people waiting in the lobby welcome me. Officers can occasionally be seen shuffling in and out of the rooms, greeting civilians with a casual smile and a polite nod. Some, though, look a little worse for wear, like the receptionist who looked at me with much disdain the moment I arrived. Thankfully, I won't have to deal with him today. Before I can even step in, Ashton's voice, though low, comes from the hallway adjacent to the lobby.
Not even for just 1 minute?
No. The case was dismissed, remember?
You were the one handling that case.
If you want access to those records, you've got to ask Chief. I was taken off it before shit went to hell. Why do you even bother? Even Professor Clark seems to have given up on that.
Well, Never mind, you won't understand.
Right. I know you owe Professor Clark a lot, but the right guy isn't just someone you mess with. They've got the money. Who knows what else gets swept under the rug with them involved.
That takes a special kind of ignorant not to know.
And a smart person to know which boundaries he can't cross. You're a bright guy, you'll figure it out. In any case, I've got to get going. Another missing person case on my hand. Benjamin on the front desk looks like he's about to maul someone after the 4th one yesterday. Murders, people missing, what a time to be alive. Man, I miss the old Luxburn.
You and me both. I'll see ya. Gonna go grab some lunch.
He notices me first as soon as he enters the lobby and pauses. Confusion briefly crosses his face until I fish out the phone from my pocket and wave it up. Frowning, he pulls out his own mobile out, wordlessly fiddling with it for a few seconds before sighing heavily. There ain't any annoyance in him when he glances up, though, only mild exasperation and what might be a hint of amusement.
Stop taking pointers from Isabella. This is gonna get old soon.
At least use your phone properly.
It's an alarm clock, a good note-taking device, a halfway decent camera, and maybe a music player too. If I'm being nice. What else do I need it for?
I don't know, keeping in contact maybe?
When he merely shrugs, I know I've struck a chord. He's far from holding a piece of technology in contempt, of course. Ash has always been nothing but practical from the start, and technology is useful. Only when he gets too focused on one thing like a case he's handling, he tends to forget there are other things around him. A little reminder and a nudge in the right direction can get him a long way.
I've got an email on that social media site the girls roped us into joining.
That doesn't make any sense. Also, you've got an account before any of us had one.
For policing purposes? Anyway, why are you here? I thought you have something scheduled today. Or was that yesterday?
That was yesterday. Look, about that. There's something I want you to see.
He stops me with a tap on my shoulder, walks past me straight to the door, and gestures with his head towards the very irked receptionist when he raises an eyebrow and question.
Over lunch. I haven't eaten anything since last night, and Benjamin there doesn't really like loiterers around here.
Wordlessly, I follow after him, but not after sending the poor guy behind the table an apologetic smile.
Aw, he's such a sweetheart.
He is. As expected, he takes a seat in the farthest corner of the cafe, a good away from the window, but easily allows a view of who comes and go. Yeah, the Discord was secluded enough not to be disturbed by the lunch hour rush, or not to be overheard by a curious bystander. If I didn't know this is lunch he invited me to, I would automatically assume I got dragged into another stakeout. After years of knowing him, though, this has simply become one of the many habits I've gotten used to. Sorry, just taking a big gulp of my water. Food arrives minutes later. Slice of the vegetarian quiche for me. Meanwhile, Ashton has opted for a cup of coffee plus a gracious serving of...
You having cake for lunch?
I do it too.
Wait!
I totally do
I
it.
just missed it! Was that cappuccino, his face?
Wait.
It was some kind of anime face.
I'm sure we'll see it when we go back.
We'll see. Wait, hold on. I got it.
Yes, it was.
Over
Lunar
lunch.
says.
I haven't eaten anything since last night, and
Damn it.
Thank you, Lunar.
Frankly, it's like seeing a child get his Christmas present early.
don't tell Becca. I'll get an earful. It's just for today.
You should listen to her, though. The kind of work you do, you'll need to eat something other than sweets. I don't want to see you drop dead in front of my apartment again.
I told you, just this once. Have you been hanging out with Becca lately? You're beginning to sound like her.
Nah, just for some recipes. But she has the right to worry, you know? It's like she's taking care of two kids. One bitches on sweets, while the other on cup noodles. At least Bella knows how to cook.
Hey, I can at least boil something. Wait, that's even I mean, you just put
Sure.
water in and...
No, don't even think about it.
He's
You
so
destroyed your own kitchen once by sticking a pressure cooker on it.
Oh my God.
I think my sister is a whole lot better than you. And this is coming from someone who has no other choice but to eat her cooking for some time.
To be fair, he genuinely appears offended at that last remark.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wait,
Becca
hold
is
on,
pretty
hold
much
on,
the mom of the
hold
group.
on, Hold on. Can I go back? No, come on, load. Yes, I want to see the cappuccino. Oh, damn it.
Hate
Yeah, I
would
already
be too strong of... Hate would be too strong of a word to describe how Sis and him usually interact whenever they're in the same room. Though whatever appropriate word it is, I can't say with most certainty that the feeling's mutual for both. Ash thinks she nags too much, while Sis thinks he's a trouble magnet that I should stay away from. They're both technically right on their assessments.
How's your sister, by the way? Still bullying white guys?
Ooh.
Married now, you're the one who started it. He's not white, he's Asian.
I'm watching Pia play the letter on her stream. She's probably not going to go for much longer, though, given how late it is.
I want to say you're the one who started it, just because it'd be a jab.
Yeah.
You do know she's married to one now.
I hope she doesn't end up poisoning him with her cooking.
Pot calling
did
the
it
kettle
up
black.
with Ashton?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Yeah,
She
even
can't be
Lunar
better than
suggested
me.
the married option.
Actually, she is now. They're planning to start a restaurant sometime in the future.
I was bedridden for days after eating some of the stuff she whipped up. And now you're letting her cook for other people?
Don't exaggerate. It was just for one day, and you're the one who refused to leave your apartment. You should come by, though. Sis gave birth a few days ago. Girl, I've only seen the pictures. But I might visit sometime after everything's settled down. Too many backlogs to go through for now.
No way in hell. She'll just find something to criticize again. Last time, it was Shirley.
He makes a show of it being utterly mortified, though I'm quite Sure, he doesn't mean any of that. He might not say it straight out, but I'm pretty sure he's enjoying the small visits whenever he can. Something about it reminds him of his own family, sort of like making up for the one he never got back after his parents separated. Sore spot, that one topic. One thing he never ever brings up in any conversation, if he can help it, and I've never seen the need to be nosy. There's some wounds he's just not meant to open, and for the both of us, the sentiment goes the same way.
As if you ain't already on a shit list. You're just afraid of her.
In your dreams, but I'll think about it.
Wuss.
Can't just drop this thing at the moment.
His change in tone is subtle, but his aggravation over the matter hangs completely palpable in the air.
Still no closer?
The opposite, actually. There's been some slip-ups here and there. Careless mistakes, and let's just say I'm waiting for him to make another one. What about you? How are things on your end?
All piled up on top of the other. But I can manage. Still recovering from the expenses for the movie, so the surge in new projects helps. Well, there's this one thing.
The expression on his face grows
photograph.
more puzzled with each photo I spread on the table. He did it like fucking multiple times. There's about 8 of them. All of it reprints of the same thing. Miss Wright's distorted head on the photos. He takes a minute to go through each, eyeing the prints warily.
That is like super creepy.
Yeah, the furrow on his brow doesn't ease even if he gathers all of it in one pile and sets them in one neat stack in front of me with a heavy sigh.
Hana, right?
Yeah. How did you...
The locket. She never takes it off. Evan's family heirloom.
I won't even think about asking why or how he knows that. If he's investigating them, he'll likely have already dug up every unimaginable dirt on them, including family history.
Are you done with your work with them?
Yesterday, yeah.
If you look
It's just
closely,
a
you can
small
see the
feature
ghost's
from a
silhouette.
magazine. Interviews, photos, standard stuff, nothing big.
Really?
Yeah, according to Lunar.
I see it.
The stairs are slightly darker in the area she's standing behind Hannah.
But see, here's the thing. I don't know how else to put this out there without sounding crazy, but there really is something odd with that
pretty
place.
interesting.
Remember the letter?
He drags in a breath, reaches up his nose, and pinches it. Like the action alone will help grant him all the patience in the world to continue this conversation.
Please tell me this isn't about that again.
No, Ash, you've got to listen this time.
I am listening, and I can't believe that just came out of your mouth. These are some blurred out photos, and that letter is just a stupid prank. I expected this from Isabella, not you.
You're the photographer here. I don't see any need to get worked up over this.
I know what you mean, but will you hear me out first?
Ash leans back in his seat and doesn't say anything further. He gestures for me to continue with a wave of his hand, impatience clearly on his face. Any other person telling him this, and he'll walk out without batting an eye. I suppose the only reason he's giving me the benefit of the doubt is because we know each other.
Ash, I don't easily buy into these things as much as you do. Yesterday, though, behind Hana.
He blinks at that, his eyebrows lifting momentarily before settling into a deep frown.
Hana? Since when were you on a first-name basis with the right missus?
Why does that even matter?
I thought you said this was just a gig.
His voice stays level, but the accusation is as clear as day. It hits a nerve in me somehow, more than that tone usually does. I do get where he's coming from, but...
I say avoid the fact that it's just a gig. Just get to the point.
Really just a gig, Lunar says. Patience can be a tough thing to some at times. But we didn't get this far as friends if we let our own tempers be the lord of us.
Bro, it's really just another freelance work.
He eyes me skeptically, the same stare he reserves for people he interrogates. I've been on the receiving end of it before, early in our friendship. Years later, he's already gotten the unimpressed police to look down pat.
And there's nothing going on with me and Miss Hana. She was just being friendly. Insisted I call her by her first name. That's all.
I wasn't implying any of that. You're not that sort of guy.
I know, but let's just get that out of the way. The just-in-case elephant in the room scenario, aight? She's a married woman, Jesus!
Not with the image she presents in public.
No, but trust me, she ain't any of the things the tabloid writes about her.
Like I read any of those.
I know you don't, but keep it in mind, will you?
Will do. Though I can't promise she'll get off scot-free if she's involved. Man, with how you're acting, it feels like I'm doing a solid for your girlfriend.
Cut that out, will you? And I'm not asking you to. Besides, what's currently going on here is more important.
All right, lay it in.
Recounting everything that takes a better half of our lunch, but he manages to listen through the entire thing without a snide comment. A feat in itself, actually. At the end of it, Ash merely nods, takes out his phone, and excuses himself. Off to a far corner for the cafe for some privacy, if he can even afford to have such a place as public as this. He returns in a little while and hands me a small card.
I can't stop you if you're willing to believe in this crap. Give this guy a call. You're better off talking to him than me. He's at the public library now if you want to catch him there. He used to be my professor back in the university.
Oh, interesting.
no,
so we still
I
end
don't
up
think
seeing him
that's
even though Isabella
I
goes
already
with
gave
the
him a
priest.
heads up. You know I can't help you out, man.
Useless.
Yeah, fucking... We just gotta get him to fucking believe Isabella. Like, that's what gets me.
You know what? I think I'm gonna end it here. Because
Sounds good.
we're gonna
That's probably for the best.
one way or another.
Yeah.
Things have already gotten too tense enough as it is.
Oh, God.
Goodbye.